Hello, everybody. Back with another visual pattern challenge for you. And today we've got lots of owls. So here's step one, here is step two, and here's step three in this visual pattern. And your challenge would be to figure out how many owls are going to be staring back at you in step four. If you can do that, then maybe you can take on the challenge of how many owls there would be in step 43. And could you write an equation that could be used to predict the number of owls in any step at all? So that's the challenge. If you'd like to try that, pause the video, give it a shot. All right, well, this one looks strange to me. It starts out with this rectangle 4 by 3, and then looks like we've got a 4 by 4 square there, and then two more um, rows or columns of 3 here. But then suddenly here we're at a 5 by 5 with 3 columns of 3. So I'm not exactly sure how to figure this out. My intuition is that this is not a simple linear pattern. I think it might be quadratic or maybe something else. So I think in this case, I'm going to start by just looking at the numbers. So we'll take the step number and the number of owls, and we'll examine these. Maybe it's linear, maybe I'm wrong in my intuition, but let's see. So 3 by 4, that's 12 owls. And this one, we've got the 4 by 4, that's 16, plus 6 more would be 22. And this one, we've got a 5 by 5, right? So it's 25 plus a 3 by 3, so that's 9. So 25 and 9 would be 34. Now, let's see if we can actually add step 4 to this chart by predicting it. And I guess I'm going to think about it this way. We've got a 3 by 3 square here, plus one more row of 3. Then we've got a 4 by 4 square with 2 rows of 3. And here we've got a 5 by 5 square with 3 rows of 3. So it looks like in every step, the size of the square goes up by 1, and the number of rows of 3 goes up by 1. So in step 4, I would expect a 6 by 6 square, so that would have 36 in it, and then 4 rows of 3. So that would be 12 more. So 36 plus 12 would be 48. Okay. So now that I've got the numbers here, actually we have predicted step 4, so let me jot that down here. I'm thinking it's going to be 48. Let's go ahead and take the differences in each step. So 22 minus 12, that's 10. 34 minus 22 is 12, and 48 minus 34 is 14. So we're not getting a constant number in our differences, which means it's not linear. So that hunch I had at the beginning is right. Let's take the difference of the differences. So 12 minus 10 is 2, 14 minus 12 is 2. When you get a constant number, in this case 2, in the difference of the differences, that means you have a quadratic. So you're going to have x squared in here somewhere. And I think this pattern that I've drawn here to help explain each step maybe will be useful. So this is a squared, but it's not the step number, it's the step number plus 2, I think. So maybe that part of it would be x plus 2 squared. So this part would be 2 plus 2, that'd be 4 squared. That'd be a 4 by 4 squared. This one, 3 plus 2, that'd be 5 squared. So that explains that part. And then the rows of 3, there are just as many rows as there are the step number. So there's 1 row in step 1, 2 rows in step 2. So we could just add 3 for the number in the row times the step number, 3x. And I think that is going to give us our pattern. I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out and simplify, although this may be a good enough way to express the equation. But let's FOIL it and see what it looks like. So this would be x squared plus 4x plus 4, and then plus 3x. So one way to express this equation would be y equals x squared plus 7x, if we combine those like terms, plus 4. Wow, that's pretty complicated. Let's see if it actually works. So in step 1, it would be 1 squared plus 7 times 1 plus 4. So that'd be 1 plus 7. That's 8 plus 4 is 12. Yep, that's how many in step 1. Let's try step 2. So this would be 2 squared plus 7 times 2 plus 4. So that would be 4 plus 14, 18, plus 4 would be 22. Ooh, that's coming out. Let's try one more just to be sure. So y equals 3 squared plus 7 times 3 plus 4. So that'd be 9 plus 21, but that'd be 30 plus 4, 34. Aha. So this looks like an equation that works. We could write it this way. I think I'm going to write it this way because it reflects what I see a little bit more accurately. They're both the same thing. Either one would be correct. So x plus 2 quantity squared plus 3x. Okay, so next, all we have left is to figure out how many in step 43. And thank goodness we have an equation, because this would be really tough to figure out without one. So we're going to just plug in 43 for x in our equation. So y equals 43 plus 2 quantity squared plus 3 times 43. I think I'm going to pull out my calculator for this one. So 43 plus 2 is 45, and I'm going to square that, and I'm getting 2,025, and 3 times 43 would be 129, plus 2,025 should be 2,154 owls. That's a lot of owls in step 43. Well, how did you do on that one? I think this one was pretty tricky. Did you see a pattern like this? Did you figure it out in a different way? I'd love to know. Let me know. Thanks, everybody.